Hello, everybody. My name is Ahmet. I am the co-founder of the R8, and also I am serving as a Chief Information Officer. Today, I will be talking about R8 digital operator, who is the most efficient employee in commercial real estate, especially when we talk about the building operations. Let's start with the EU Commission states. So here, recently, we are going through the energy crisis, and now we just recently heard about the European Commission, and the statement was that the first response to tackle high prices is to reduce the demand. And they are expecting from us around 10% consumption reduction. And in addition, when it was the peak hours, we should reduce even 5% further. Well, if they are requesting it from us, it must be doable, right? But the question is maybe beyond that. The question is how to reduce the demand intelligently. So let's start with the commercial buildings and residential buildings. They're around half of the consumption within the global energy consumption profiles. When it comes to commercial buildings, they account for almost half of it. So in the commercial buildings, namely the shopping malls, hotels, and office buildings, they do have a big impact in the energy consumption. But when you look a little bit inside into the details, what we see is that there is a plug loads, there are lights, and there are HVAC equipment consumption. So there isn't much to do when it comes to the plug loads because we cannot simply take off or turn off the computers or screens or monitors or fridges. When it comes to lights, most of the lights are already LED or they're already smart lights, and there is not much potential to reduce. And there are a few more consumers like lifts or security systems, but they're all their own limits. Where the potential lies is the HVAC systems. HVAC is, when you look at 40% or translates to almost 7.5% of consumption in the global consumption field. So we are just addressing the problem of the inefficient HVAC and then reducing the consumption through the HVAC. So which simply means that any commercial building or the large scale building owner or the manager, if they have motivation to reach or meet the EU target, they can do it so within only 2 steps by deploying our digital operator with zero cost. So, but how does this work? Firstly, we digitalize the commercial building or large scale building remotely within a week. It just takes a week to make the digitalization of the building. So eventually you are ending up having a digital twin of the building. And of course, this is only the first stage. The second stage is after providing some inspection, providing you insights when it comes to the mechanical systems to make sure everything is good enough and the conditions are fine there. We are going to launch, where we are launching the R8 digital operator, which is the purely AI-based solution, purely software solution, is working 7/24 to reduce the consumption, or in other words, the demand side flexibility intelligently. So idea here is that without having too much reactive or aggressive decisions, systematic IT solutions with proven results can bring to the stage of at least 15% energy consumption reduction within a week. This is the digital operator about. So shortly, what is the result is the desired indoor climate with minimum cost. So when it comes to desired indoor climate, our average, the comfort rate achievement is over 90%, regardless of the building type, building size, and the construction year. The 90% means that the target range, it might be the portfolio view, it might be the national standards, or it might be just the individual target range or the temperature profiles. And then when it comes to the consumption, in average, we are saving around 15 to 30%, and the net promoter score for our service is over 55, which is the quite unique or quite remarkable number as a software as a service. So indeed, it's not a solution just works in one or a couple of buildings. At the moment, we do have a reference around 1.6 million meters square, and just as in a couple of months, we are already exceeding the 2 million meters square. And when we look at our profiles for our clients, I mean that we have mostly shopping malls, hotels, offices, and public buildings. But again, those are just some profiles. Our solution works everywhere where there is a available of internet and then the centralized automation system, which is eventually another European Commission regulation is suggesting and recommending to all the commercial buildings to become enough smart for such AI solutions within 2 years. So what I'm trying to say is that the market grows itself naturally for existing buildings as well. Well, we are already operating in all over the Europe. This is around 19 countries, and then the other countries yet to start. So I assume that within a year we will be all over available in Europe, and also that we aim to scale up out of the Europe, namely Asia, Gulf region, or even the US. That time will show us, and then of course the interest will trigger the next areas. And at the moment, we are responsible for almost 5 billion euro assets portfolio value, which means that there are hundreds of the managers, building owners, portfolio companies. They are believing in us. They trust us to be responsible for their assets. So this is something to be proud of, and this is something that presents as a reference to anybody else how reliable and sustainable solution we are providing to our clients. I would like to thank for your attention, and if you have any questions, please let me know. And looking forward to cooperate, and we can make this target together. What is stated by the EU Commission?
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Would you ask a question, please? Do you need something to install, some hardware or something to get the system running, or is it just kind of plug in and play?
Very good question, and thank you for the question. So, as I briefly mentioned, our digital operator is a software. So the software is also use existing infrastructures within the buildings, within commercial buildings. Therefore, we are not going to ask any additional hardware, controller, or the mechanical system to be installed. That's why it's zero cost solution. So for the client's point of view, the return on investment starts as from the day one. And well, our solution is compatible with the major building automation system providers. And this is the one of our unique selling point. Do we have another question there?
What is the cost of the service? So I imagine that you have a monthly fee, or on what basis is it calculated?
Yes, at the moment we do have only one business model, which is called the fixed fee, and then the fixed fee is the global price set. It's the 12 cents per square per month, and according to our results outcome, currently we are providing something like 4 to 7 times or 4 to 8 times more than what we ask from the client. And in addition to that, we are also providing or making sure that indoor climate is within the target area from the client's point of view. And again, we are providing the desired indoor climate with the minimum cost. Therefore, we do have a high customer retention. And in a worst scenario, what could be saying that, hey, we have very exceptional or extreme case, then in this case, you can just terminate the contract within a month, so that we are believing in our product in this level that we don't mind about the like 5 years contract or so. I think I answered the question how much it costs. It costs the 12 cents per meter square per month, and there is some customer funding, the government funding, I think let's put it this way: we are operating across Europe, and then every government might have their own fundings and supports for the commercial buildings. As much as I know that there are some of our clients, they use the support funds within their countries. But yeah, definitely that when it's come to the energy crisis stage, definitely there should be some available funds in the markets or in the governmental stage to support this kind of ideas. But without even any funds or so, that you start using or deploying the artificial operator will bring the benefits and profits from the day one.
Do you have any competitors on the market in Europe?
Well, it's a bit of the question how we define a competitive landscape. So if you talk about smart building solutions, yes, there are a number of companies are claiming, saying that yes, we are also reducing the energy consumption. We are also providing some value to HVAC and then the indoor climate. Once we look at the landscape itself a little bit more seriously, where you see that most of the companies, they are providing a monitoring and analytics through their dashboards, and some of the companies are providing a solution controllable or a solution that controls also the HVAC equipment, but they install their hardware and they install, I don't know, their own sensors and controllers, which means additional cost, additional learning environment, and additional, so to say, headache for the end user. So when you look at it from this point of view, we are the only company who provides software as a service, doesn't ask any additional investment or any additional hardware, and provides fully autonomous intelligence solution for the end user, which is actually helping them to minimize the complaints and maximize the efficiency of their equipment.
Could a physical person compete with your system? So what's your kind of evaluation of a man and a machine? Who is better?
Well, I think the Superman can compete with our artificial operator, but the regular human most likely not. The reason for that, the solution works 7/24 and then looks at the information of the building dynamics in every 15 minutes. So I haven't seen or heard anybody who is able to look at and check and make sure the building is in a good shape from the cost perspective and then from the indoor climate perspective, day, night, 7/24. So in other words, practically, we are human beings, right? We may have a sick leave, we might have vacations, we might have some other issues, but the software is doing the job and continuously, non-stop. The second point is that we are talking about the number of dynamics, what impact to those KPIs, the consumption, indoor climate. The first thing is, of course, nowadays the electricity price. The second thing is the weather. The third thing is occupancy profile. And other side of the coin, there are thousands of data points for human or for the operator to adjust. So there is no solution exist, or there is no kind of tool exists as for the humans to make all this modeling, data-driven decisions, all the optimization, and do all these adjustments continuously, non-stop. So in this case, there is no way of doing the competition here. I see there's one more question.
Hello.
Yeah.
What are the pre-requirements to private house?
Well, the private house, I would consider the residential buildings. This is somewhat a different domain of ours. So we mainly focus on commercial buildings. Residential buildings, if you do have enough complex system for that the software to operate, then they're also welcome. But this is, I would say, that not our primary focus at present. There are maybe some smart systems, or it's kind of a entry-level smart system can be employed for the residential buildings.
Okay, thank you.
Question: should let's say the traditional maintenance managers be worried about your system? Will you take their working place?
I wouldn't say so. Again, what we are talking about is the micro adjustments within the HVAC set points, so which brings naturally additional value and then profits for everybody. When it comes to the maintenance companies, this is again competition. So that let's put it in this way that they minimize the complaints, their end users or their clients will have a higher satisfaction, they will reduce their own cost. At the same time, they will be able to serve more buildings, more commercial buildings, or more portfolio within the existing resources. So it's all about the cooperation. And the other thing is that once we provide them insights which HVAC equipment is underperforming because of the mechanical failures or so, then they will be able to fix most necessity or most accurate problems appearing in the mechanical side. So from this point of view, they will increase the quality of the service, they will increase satisfaction of the service, and they will be able to serve to the more or greater amount of the portfolio within the same existing resources. So I don't see any problem here.
How fast will you make the contract, or how much time does it take to sign the contract and become your customer?
I think this is like a simple, if I know correctly, it takes like a couple of clicks, just like read the contract and sign it, and then start establishment of the connection. If you prefer a traditional way of doing it, just we have a contract, which is like rather simple and straightforward. And then as soon as you sign it, we can start cooperating with. And the next next session is the connection side, that we are asking your colleagues or the IT support team to enable the connection for our service. And we start collecting the data and then proceed with that. Eventually, we do not ask any of your time. All you have to do is that sign a contract, give us authorization to start collecting the data. And third thing is giving us the information. What is your expectations from the indoor climate within your building? And what is your occupancy profile within the building? And that's pretty much it. The rest of the items are taken care by us as efficient as possible in the market.
And my last question, just to be sure, I believe I saw this answer, but maybe you could comment. So is it true that your service could be delivered worldwide without any restrictions on the country or climate?
We are providing software, and so our software works as long as the internet connection is available. And then what we need is the only centralized system. And then I was mentioning this, that the market grows itself because there is regulations and their expectation in the market. The large scale building should become as a smart enough for AI-based solution, or they should have their own centralized system and with the BMS as soon as possible, which means that 2024. And yeah, this is our service, like it works everywhere possible. And maybe you might concern that what if internet connection is gone temporarily? But the answer is that also that if something happens, in a worst case, the building, it goes to its own default settings. So this is what our digital operator is doing, is a risk-free operations. And from this point of view, there is no risk, there is no hassle, there is no cost, there is only a solution which gives you the hand to increase your efficiency within your building.